Okay, welcome to this deep dive.
Oh.
Today we're getting into something pretty fundamental, building a strong marriage.
Yep. And we're looking at it through a specific lens, ideas from Jordan Peterson's work on uh, order, responsibility, and truth within marriage.
Right, so our goal here is to pull out the core principles from this perspective.
Exactly. Kind of extract the key insights so you can see how these ideas might apply.
Great.
Or just, think about them in your own life.
See what resonates.
Yeah.
And Peterson's framework, it often starts with the individual needing to create order out of chaos, personally.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how that personal work connects to a partnership like marriage. Where do we start with the principles from this source?
Okay. So the first big idea emphasized here is maybe not what you'd expect from marriage advice. It's order your own life first.
Ah, okay. That sounds like his clean your room metaphor, right?
Yeah.
How does that translate here?
Precisely. The material argues that a strong marriage isn't really about finding someone else to fix your problems or, complete you. It's apparently strongest when it's built by two people who've already done significant work, sorting out their own lives, their own chaos.
So, like, getting your personal stuff handled,
Mm-hmm.
finances, habits, emotional regulation, that kind of thing, before you even get deep into the relationship dynamics.
Exactly that. It's the idea that if your foundation is shaky, you can't build something stable on top of it.
Right.
If you neglect your own room, your own psychology, your responsibilities, that chaos doesn't just stay with you. It inevitably spills over into the relationship.
Okay.
So the perspective is that when both partners are actively managing their own stuff, they bring strength and stability to the marriage. It stops individual problems from automatically becoming partnership crises.
So become a capable individual first.
Yeah.
Then you can be a capable partner. Makes sense. Build individual strength for collective strength.
That's the gist of the first point.
All right. So once you're working on that individual order, what's the next challenge this viewpoint tackles?
It moves pretty directly into communication, or maybe the failure of communication around the hard stuff. The second principle is really about the need to address resentment and lies head on.
Ooh, okay. Confronting resentment and lies. Why is that framed as so critical here?
Well, the source describes unspoken issues, buried annoyances, little grievances, and actual lies as being incredibly corrosive.
Corrosive.
Yeah, like a slow poison is the term used, I think. Something that just eats away at the trust and the connection from the inside.
So it's not just the big lies, but the unspoken truths, too, the things you don't say.
Exactly. They don't just vanish. They fester. They come out sideways, passive aggression, withdrawal, maybe sudden blow-ups over something small. It builds walls.
I see. So avoiding uncomfortable truths, even if you think you're keeping the peace, is actually damaging in the long run from this perspective.
That's the argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
It advocates for something like radical truth-telling.
Radical truth-telling.
Even when it's difficult, maybe painful right now. The idea is you have to face these hidden things, these dragons, as the source might put it, articulate them.
Bring them into the open.
Right. Only then can you actually deal with them, understand them, and let the relationship, grow authentically. Avoiding truth just stars the connection.
Okay, facing the internal dragons prepares you for the external ones, maybe. Which seems to lead into the third principle you mentioned, confronting chaos together.
Yes, exactly. Life inevitably throws curveballs, right?
Definitely.
Illness, money problems, loss, just unexpected stuff. This perspective really stresses. Don't let those external pressures break the partnership apart.
So the opposite of turning on each other when things get stressful.
Precisely. Instead of blaming or retreating into your own corners, the approach here is face it as a team, a united front.
How does that look practically?
Pooling resources, supporting each other emotionally, tackling the problem collaboratively. The material suggests that going through hard times together with courage and a shared sense of purpose doesn't just test the bond, it actually strengthens it.
It forges it.
Yeah, it builds resilience, turns the challenge into proof you can rely on each other.
That's a powerful way to look at hardship. Okay, what's the final key idea from this perspective?
The fourth one is about actively creating shared goals and a necessary structure for your life together.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Just like an individual needs some order and direction, the argument is the marriage needs it too.
And this isn't about being super rigid or controlling, I assume.
No, not necessarily rigid. It's more about building a shared framework, something that provides stability, cuts down on, needless conflict, and gives the whole thing a sense of shared direction.
Like agreeing on the big things.
Yeah, aligning on finances, how you want to raise kids if you have them, career paths, maybe even just establishing some reliable routines together, things that anchor the partnership.
Like having a common map you're both reading from.
That's a good way to put it. It creates a sense of collective purpose, a shared future you're building. It acts as a kind of buffer against, well, the general uncertainty of life. Without that shared vision, things can just drift.
Okay, so let's recap these principles from this viewpoint. Get your own life in order first. Confront resentments and lies. Honestly, don't let them fester.
Right.
Face life difficulties as a unified team.
Yep.
And build a shared structure with common goals.
That covers the main points we pulled out.
Putting it all together, the core message seems to be about individual strength combined with a shared, courageous effort to deal with reality both inside yourselves and out in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely a perspective that emphasizes responsibility and maybe the difficult pursuit of truth, even within the complexities of a marriage.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
Now, just to be clear, for everyone listening, we've been exploring ideas drawn specifically from excerpts related to Jordan Peterson's views on marriage.
That's right.
Our aim here, as always in these deep dives, is simply to analyze and present the insights found in the source material itself. We're doing this neutrally, without endorsing these specific viewpoints or the author's broader work, especially given that it can often be politically charged.
Absolutely. The focus is on understanding the ideas presented in these texts.
Exactly, just exploring the perspective and thinking about this framework, particularly that very first principle, individual order, being a prerequisite. It does leave us with a pretty interesting question to ponder. If getting your own house in order is presented as the foundation for a strong marriage, according to this view, how might focusing first on ordering your own life fundamentally shift the kind of foundation you bring to any significant relationship, not just marriage?
That's definitely something to think about.